And we are live once again back for the Project X podcast. I am Alan Smith, along with...
I'm Big Dave.
And
I'm just going to go ahead and apologize right now because I've got some kind of head cold going on. So I'm pounding lemon menthol, Halls, cough drops, and Diet Mountain Dew. So this could get ugly before it's over.
Oh, I think we'll be fine. So anyway, on our episode 8, yes, we are up to 8 already.
8.
We are going to be covering a movie franchise.
A couple movies.
Yeah, well, it's a franchise because we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to be talking about the 1994 movie Clerks and its sequel, Clerks 2, which was released in July of 2006. And where do you want to begin with this one?
I love Clerks. Mm-hmm. I remember where I was at when I saw it the first time. It was literally off a VHS tape that we had rented at a local video store. And it was over at my buddy Dan's house. And it was me and him and a bunch of friends. And I think me and him were the only two who got it. Everybody else was too highbrow to understand what this piece of garbage little... Why did we rent this? This is terrible. Couldn't we have gotten something with, like, explosions or something?
Right. It's definitely not one of those movies by any stretch of the imagination.
No. And then we get to Clerks 2, which the first time I saw it, I really enjoyed it. But having watched it again recently in preparation for this, kind of makes me sad.
Okay, we'll get into that as well. My history with Clerks actually goes back to before it was actually released. Okay, here's the thing. Nothing.
Lucky you.
Well, no, I did not see it before it was released or anything. What I'm saying is I was in a movie theater and the trailer for it came on. And I remember very specifically seeing the trailer and being like, because you have to remember this was in 94 and like independent film was really big.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this played at Cannes that same, or not at Cannes, but at, what's the one in Colorado?
Oh, Sundance.
Sundance, thank you. This played at Sundance the same year that Pulp Fiction played. And those were the two movies everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, these two new directors. Of course, Tarantino had already made Reservoir Dogs at that point and had written the script for True Romance.
Yeah.
And so this was we're getting ready to see something good here.
Yeah.
But I remember, I don't remember what movie. It may have actually been Pulp Fiction, going and seeing that, and seeing this trailer beforehand.
That I was big shot with the Dick Dale guitar and all that.
Yeah.
Another show, I know.
Yeah, that's a whole. Believe me, we could do a whole show just on Pulp Fiction. But the thing with this one is that I remember sitting there and watching it, and I'm like, okay, yeah. All right, independent. All right, it's in black and white. Obviously, this was a low-budget film, and blah, 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 blah. And then it came down to the end of it, and it showed it was like, with a soundtrack featuring, and it had like all the Alice in Chains and Soul Asylum and, all these different bands and stuff. And I remember turning to my friend and saying, I swear they only make movies just to make soundtracks these days.
Thank goodness.
And that was kind of a thing in the 90s. Like, that was a
because
big
I
thing.
Have discovered so many bands off of movie soundtracks.
Oh, this soundtrack is great. I mean, it's a great soundtrack. Great mid-90s soundtrack.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it again. I did not actually see the movie until it was on VHS. And a friend of mine...
Which is appropriate. That's the way you probably should see it, is on VHS.
Exactly. And my friend Richard, who I'd known since junior high school, we used to go... We were both big movie buffs, We used to see all this stuff together. And he was the one, he was like, have you watched Clerks yet? And I was like, oh yeah, that was that one, the soundtrack. I kept calling it the soundtrack movie, And he was like, you need to see it. And he was telling me some stuff in it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I watched it, and I'll be honest, I liked it, but I didn't think it was great in the beginning.
Really?
Yeah. Fast forward to the next year when Mallrats came out. Again, did not see Mallrats in the theater, watched it on VHS again, and really liked it because it was all this nerdy. There was so many comic book references and stuff. But I remember because it was one of those things that it was a big. I think it's Universal did that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I forget, maybe Paramount. So I forget it was a big movie studio that did it. And they did a big marketing blitz for that movie. especially in comic books. And it was a back page. It was one of those seeing eye or magic eye posters, and it was Jay and Silent Bob down at the bottom. And I remembered, hey, those were those guys that was in that Clerks movie.
Yes.
So, and not knowing a ton about all of it, but then I had gone back and rewatched Clerks a couple of times and watched Mallrats. It's one of those things I really got into it. By the time Chasing Amy came around, I was like, oh, I was really excited for the new Kevin Smith movie, you know, by that point. Clerks 2. I will say this about both of these movies.
Yeah.
Well, let me back up before I get to Clerks 2. The next thing that happened was that I actually working in retail. Like, I didn't up till a certain point in my life.
Yeah, we've all been there.
And then I worked in retail, and all of a sudden that movie became, I get
it now.
And then on top of it all, I worked at a video store for a year.
Yes, you did.
And that was when I really was like, no, that movie is 100% on the nose of what happens on a day-to-day basis.
It was strange because you were almost Dante working Jay's job.
Yeah.
Or not Jay's job.
Randall's job, right.
Job, yeah.
And that goes on to like a few years later, you know, when I was working at probably the best job I ever had, and we're going to talk about great dead-end jobs at some point. But I was working at, you know, a music store, like a record store, CDs at the time.
Used record
used
store.
records,
People bring their stuff in, sell them.
Right. And I remember like watching it one night, and my friend Andy he wasn't working there then, but he did later. But it was one of those things where
he might as well have.
Yeah, he
was
hung out all the
there.
time. He was always there.
I'm guilty also.
Yeah, and so he was there, and he came in. I was like, you know, and I remember this conversation. And I was like, you know, I watched Clerks again last night. I was like, and I realized something. And he's like, what? I was like, I'm Dante and you are Randall.
Oh,
there is no two ways about it.
Andy, no offense.
Yeah.
At that point in your life,
you were Randall. And you know it. You know, and then there was something else that happened that we will talk about that it takes it even further. But anyway, when Clerks 2 came out, okay, so like Clerks came out, I was 20 years old. So we're talking about, you know, the characters in the movie are about 22. So we're in that same age.
Year out of high school.
Yeah. So we're in that same age range. And, you know, kind of going through I went to college, but I'm not sure if college is for me, and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
All that wonderful mid-20s wishy-washy.
Exactly.
I'm supposed to be an adult now, but adulting's hard.
Yeah, not knowing how to be an adult.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do with it. When Clerks 2 came out, I was in a really bad spot in my life of dealing with, and I've talked about it on here before, dealing with, you know, alcoholism and depression, you know, all that kind of stuff. And Clerks 2 spoke to me like you would not believe, especially a scene about midway into it where their buddy from high school comes in, or not their buddy, a guy they know from high school, and is giving them all the problems. And
the one that picked on him in high school is still around.
Right.
And,
you know, and he's successful.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still working clerks, you know, they're clerks still, you know. And when they go to the
at a fast food restaurant.
Yes. And so they go to the go-kart place.
Yeah.
Okay, and remember when they're coming back, and Dante asked Randall, he's like, what is it about
go-karts?
The go-karts. And he said, it reminds me of a better time when the world was still in front of us. And he says the line, it just feels like the world has moved on without us.
Yeah, I get that.
And that line just like hit me in the heart.
I feel that way.
Believe.
I feel that way right now.
Well, is that why? I mean, is that you're now watching it? Why you find it so sad, or what?
It was I'm not to the place that they're at in that movie, but the whole kind of I was in my 30s and I was still trying to figure it out.
Right.
And I realized what a miserable individual I was back then. And I haven't got it figured out now, but at least I'm in a routine to where I can kind of stabilize it and try to figure it out.
Right. Okay. So now that we've said all that, let's actually talk about the movies themselves. We'll start with Clerks. if you're listening to this, you probably know something about it. So I'm not going to go into all the details about Kevin Smith making this. There's plenty.
Getting a loan, credit cards.
It was all
blah,
credit
blah,
cards,
blah.
you know. But it's one of those things. There are plenty of resources out there. If you just go listen to Smodcast or something. I mean, he'll talk about it quite a bit. And I've always enjoyed Kevin Smith, his movies, but also just his podcasts are cool. I don't listen to Smodcast any longer. I listened to it for the longest time, and I stopped about the time he really started smoking weed all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's all he ever talked about.
Oh yeah.
And I just was like, I'm good. I mean, it's like, cool. If it works for you, that's awesome. I don't want to hear it all the time.
Yeah.
And the other thing, and believe me, I am not.
He is not a prude.
I am not a prude, and I am also not the poster child for maturity. But Kevin Smith is stuck at being 14 years old, I swear, because his humor, everything is dick and fart jokes.
Oh yeah.
That's what his movies have been, but especially on Smodcast, that is all.
Well, even if you watch Comic Book Men, it always kind of degrades into that.
Mm-hmm. I will tell you that I do listen to Tell 'em Steve Dave, which is Brian Johnson and Walt Flanagan, you know, and those guys.
And by the way, no offense to Kevin Smith.
No, none. I love Kevin Smith's movies.
We love the movie and all that.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this reboot that they're doing, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Oh yeah.
So that comes out later this year, and I'm really looking forward to it.
You know, you might want to back off the weed a little bit and try to raise the humor level above your genitalia and methane jokes.
So anyway, Clerks, the being in black and white. The movie is shot in black and white, and he said he did it because
it was
cheaper to buy black and white film than it was color. I think that adds to the aesthetic of that film.
No, it totally does. Because the last part of the 80s, and we've talked about this on another show, the last part of the 80s and kind of the first part of the 90s for me kind of felt like the entire little time period there was in black and white.
Yes.
Everything kind of felt used up. Everything had already been done. You know, there wasn't really anything new coming out, even though looking back, we were wrong.
But when you're that age and in it, you don't see it that way.
You know, so even life at that point kind of seemed like black and white.
Right.
Just very...
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Because even for black and white, that movie was even a little desaturated.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it wasn't hard black and whites. It was more like a
lot of grays.
A lot of
gray. And I noticed that watching, because I had loaned Dave my copies. I had Blu-ray copies of both these movies.
Yeah, I don't own them. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. You know,
beat me up.
But it's one of those things that I had digital copies, but they were. I think they were standard definition. I'm pretty sure the Clerks was. But watching, I had put them on my iPad, and had watched both of them.
Yeah. Over
the course of the last couple of days. Clerks, you know, Clerks is one of those movies that so many movies that you love at some point in your life, you go back and rewatch, and they're not quite as good.
They don't hold up.
They don't hold up, or they're very dated.
Yes.
That's another thing that happens with a lot of movies. This one, you throw a couple of cell phones in.
Yep.
And
update the music a little bit.
Yeah, it could be now. I mean, it's not a...
Instead of a video store now, though, it'd probably be like an iPhone, iPad repair place or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe a Boost Mobile.
Yeah. Oh yeah, something like that. Or what's the other one? The Metro PCS. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, one of those.
Everywhere.
And usually right next door to a convenience store.
Absolutely. So that would make that. Yeah. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than just a couple of things like that, it still holds up. Some of the dialogue is. You can always say that about Kevin Smith. Is that his dialogue? The first when it came out, it was more. We all thought, oh, this is realistic dialogue. It's not like movie dialogue. And then you listen to it later, and it's like, nah, it's pretty ham-fisted.
It's double ham-fisted.
There's a lot of let me show you how smart I am references or big words, and that kind of stuff.
Some forced acting.
Yeah.
Because it was obviously some folks that hadn't really done a lot.
Right.
At that point.
Well, it's funny also because like Walt Flanagan, like I said, is in the movie like 4 or 5 times. He plays 4 or 5 different roles.
Yeah.
And same thing with Scott Mosier.
For those who don't know who we're talking about, explain who they are.
Okay, so Walt Flanagan is one of Kevin Smith's friends from way back. He was on Comic Book Men. He runs Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Okay.
He was in, I think he's been in all of the movies in a little part, but he most famously, he plays the fanboy in Mallrats. He's the one, when they go to the and it's like you have Brian Johnson, his other buddy, that the two of them, they play Steve Dave. He's the one that says, "Tell him, Steve Dave," and that's Walt Flanagan. And then Scott Mosier is actually the producer on this film and did all the editing and all that kind of everything. Yep. And the two of them, he's on Smodcast, and he's worked on all of Kevin Smith's stuff. He's also worked on some other movies.
Yeah.
What was it that he did?
There
recently?
just may have been some folks that didn't quite
right. I know it's a little more
because we're versed in it. We've lived this stuff.
Exactly.
We're wanting to maybe introduce this to some other folks that maybe haven't seen it yet. And we want you to be in on the joke.
It's one of those things where. So anyway, we were talking about Clerks.
Clerks.
Yes.
We lost our place, didn't we?
We completely lost our place. That's okay. We'll just start here. I know what we were talking. We were talking about Walt Flanagan and.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, now we're kind of up to speed on who a couple of these people are. Walt Flanagan actually appears in Clerks like 3 different times. Like he's the guy. He's like one of the guys that's buying cigarettes. Actually, he's several. He's one of the guys that's buying cigarettes in the beginning. You know. He later is another. He's the customer that Dante shows the porn magazine to. That he gets offended.
Oh yeah.
He is one of the people that runs out of the funeral home.
Yeah. Okay.
And you only see his face. You only see And then he's in it. He's the guidance counselor that smashes. It's looking through the eggs.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Scott Mosier plays Willem, also known as Snowball. He also
such a weird, creepy character.
Yeah, which we'll hear in a little bit. We'll get into some of the lore that goes with.
Oh, there's lore.
Oh, there's a lot of lore that goes into this.
See, I'm a nerd, but he's a geek.
Yeah, I've followed all this stuff for 25 years now. He also, when they're playing hockey, he's the guy that wants to get into the. He wants to buy something,
and he climbs the ladder.
Right. Which is funny because there's a scene in that where they're on top of the ladder, and then another customer comes up and says, "Hey man, you open?" And they both yell, "No, we're closed." Well, that's Willem.
Yeah.
So he is actually Scott Mosier hollering at himself. It's and so yeah, there's a lot of stuff like the milkmaid is actually Kevin Smith's mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And his sister is the girl that when they're talking about the guidance counselors.
Yes.
She's the one that starts telling the story, and then
you
gotta have a. We're probably gonna have to put an explicit tag on the front of this one because it's almost impossible not to.
Okay, you go ahead. I'm going to not do that. You feel
but
free.
But it's just one of those things that because of just so much of what happens in both of these movies, that his sister's the one that says, "Yeah, you got to find something. You got to find a job in life that you feel that fulfills you and makes you whatever." And he's like, "Oh yeah, what do you do?" She's like, "Oh, I manually masturbate animals at the zoo for reproductive reasons." That's Kevin Smith's sister. So
yeah.
So that's So it's all that kind of stuff.
I'm glad we ate dinner before we did.
Yeah,
this.
No jokes. But there's, of course, here's another thing that's really interesting about both of these movies. Actually, about both of these movies and Mallrats is they all happen in the same day, or they all happen over the course of a day. You ever thought? Clerks starts off with Dante getting the call that he needs to go into work.
Yeah.
And it ends when he closes
the store
that night.
Yeah.
Okay. Clerks 2. Well, okay.
No, Clerks 2 does not happen in the same week because it's years on down the road.
It does well, okay. All right, let's put a caveat on that. It opens with them with Dante going to open the quick stop.
Yes.
And it's on fire.
Because Randall forgot to turn off the burner again. Yeah.
But the bulk of the story takes place in one day. It's his last day at movies because he's getting married. He's moving to Florida and getting married. Okay, now granted, there's some addendum on the end of it that takes place over a little more time,
Yeah.
But the bulk of the story takes place in one day.
Yeah.
Mallrats is the same thing. It all takes place in the course of one day.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I thought you meant like several movies together.
No.
Okay. I
I'm just talking about the story.
The storyline itself for each one takes place in one.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I'll agree. I can't talk again.
I'll
agree with you on that. Yeah.
Here's some interesting stuff, though.
Okay.
Mallrats takes place one day before Clerks. Yes. Okay. Here's.
Okay, I did not catch that.
We're going to get into here because
go ahead.
There is what they call the View Askewniverse. Okay.
Yeah.
The View Askew is the production company. That
Kevin Smith works under. Yeah.
And so you see characters reoccurring over and over. And they all take place in Jersey. That originally it was called the Jersey Trilogy, which was Clerks, Mallrats, and Chasing Amy.
Yes.
Okay. But it goes further than that because after that you get Dogma. Yeah, Jay and Silent Bob are in that.
I know. I don't have a whole lot of love for
okay,
that
I'm just saying, but it's like, okay, then you get Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Which is completely inappropriately hilarious.
Yes. And then you get Clerks 2 after that.
Yeah.
All 6 of these movies are inside of the same universe, basically. You see a lot of characters returning in this and that. Anyways, Mallrats takes place one day before Clerks. Because do you remember what the conflict in that movie was? Okay, TC's girlfriend is her dad is having a
TC
Jason.
Okay,
Jeremy, whichever one of the twins.
Yeah.
Anyways, his girlfriend's father, which is guy from Walking Dead,
which
Merle.
one?
Merle.
Norman.
No, not Reedus. It's
Michael
Reeder.
Yeah.
Not Michael.
Not Michael. It's Michael, but that's the wrong last name.
Anyways,
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
you keep talking. I'm gonna break out the magic witch box.
So he's putting on this. Anyways, they had somebody that a girl dropped out of this TV show taping because, or she didn't drop out. She died. The girl she says the first of it is Julie Dwyer. Said that she had a brain embolism midway through a backstroke in the YMCA pool.
Right.
That's the girl that they go to the funeral to.
Yeah.
In Clerks.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's another thing. The
Michael Rooker.
Thank you. That's right. I knew it was an R. Yeah.
Who's also awesome in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, he is, and also Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Yeah.
So that happens, but Ethan Suplee. Is that his name? Ethan Suplee. Yeah. That was on My Name Is Earl. He played. He's the one in Mallrats that's trying to see the magic eye. He can't see the boat. That's the whole thing. He wants to see the ship that's in the the boat and the blah blah blah.
Oh, the stupid! You stare at the picture forever,
right, and you see it eventually. Yeah. That's Willem. Yes.
Oh.
That's what now. Yeah, that's Willem. And there's a few other. They talk about some other stuff here and there, that happened in Clerks, or that Clerks talk about also. When you get to Chasing Amy, there is a scene when they're at, is it called Meow Mix? They're at the club anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Alyssa and Holden are talking to each other, and she said something about it was the last. I haven't been back to she's from Jersey, and she says, my best friend or one of my friends died in the YMCA pool of the brain embolism. Yeah. And then he says something. Wow, you also you're a Jersey girl. She's like, yeah, but I haven't been back since my friend's funeral. No. I take that back. First off, he said, did you ever go to the Quick Stop? And she's like, yeah. She's like my best friend had sex with a dead guy in the bathroom. She's like, no way, you know that girl? And then later in the conversation she says, I haven't been back since my friend's funeral.
Yeah.
And he was like, what, the Quick Stop girl died? She's like, no, Julie Dwyer. And he's like, had died in the thing. He's like, oh my God, you knew that girl. It's like one of those things where they bring all of that into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So The one scene with Jay and Silent Bob in that movie, I know we're getting way into the nerd here, okay? The one scene with Jay and Silent Bob in that movie where, you get the whole actual name, Chasing Amy and all that kind of stuff. When they leave, they're going to, God, I can't remember the name. Basically, they're going to Illinois, to the town that all of John Hughes' movies takes place. It's a fictitious town, but that's their whole thing. They're going to Illinois to that, okay? When we catch back up to them in Dogma, they're coming back from there and talking about how it wasn't a real town, and it was. So it's one of those things that all these movies are tied together, And then at the very end of it, when they're sitting there, after they've saved the world and all that and everything, Jay says something to Bob "Hey man, you want to go stand outside the Quick Stop?" It's just kind of like the whole we're getting into this.
Shermer,
Illinois. That's what it was. I'm sure there are people yelling at their phones and Shermer.
Don't worry, folks. My thumbs are fat, and I'm typing on my phone the Magic Witch box as fast as I can.
So then we get to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yes.
Okay, it starts off, and we see Dante and Randall again.
Yes.
At the Quick Stop.
Which they now
No.
You're right. Before
all that.
Right.
So we see them again, and they call the cops on Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes.
Basically make them leave, and then they through a course of, and it's been a while since I've seen that movie, so I can't give you.
I'm starting to feel like I probably should have watched all of these beforehand.
I'm doing all this from memory.
I know. Which is amazing. By the way.
So, in that movie, they go to movies.
Yeah.
Because that's where they. Oh, actually, movies was introduced in Dogma. It was. Movies was introduced in Dogma.
It was, but that's just kind of
because Loki and Bartleby go into the sales because they say it was a golden calf, it's everything. So it's introduced there. Then they go into movies, and that's when they start finding out about people who were talking about them online, and they're making this movie and everything. And so
over at the counter,
right? And so they go on their Hollywood adventure at the end, and of course during the time they go and they see Holden.
Yeah.
They saw somebody else.
They wanted some of that comic book money.
Right. And he was like, "Man, you guys, we don't have anything to do with it anymore." Blah blah blah. So when they at the end of the movie, whenever they actually make the Jay and Silent Bob, our Blunt Man and Chronic movie that they're making,
Blunt Man and Chronic, excellent cameo though.
Yes. Oh yeah. One of the best cameos ever. When they get to the end of it, when they're at the movie premiere, the people that are walking out, you see Banky from Chasing Amy, and Hooper X, walking out together. They're a couple now because that was kind of like, oh yeah, we all knew that Banky was gay, type thing, and he's finally, everything. You see Alyssa Jones, she comes walking out and says something about and her girlfriend says something about, oh, they should have made a movie about you and about, they should have made a movie out of your comic or something like that rather than this. It's kind of a throwback there. But you also see Willem walk by. And it's Scott Mosier again. It's not Ethan Suplee, and he's doing his whole looking up at the as he's walking by,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that they bring, and I'm sure there's some more stuff that I don't remember exactly. That they bring all these characters back in. Now, when you get to Clerks 2, of course they're working at movies. So
we mentioned the cameo. We never said who it was. Should we say who it was?
Oh, it's James Vanderbeek and Jason Biggs. That's the one you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about when.
You're talking Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about when they were Jay and Silent Bob. That was one of the best cameos. Ever.
That's a good cameo, but the fact that Mark Hamill shows up in this thing,
shows up as cock knocker, and he gets his hand cut off. He's like, "No, not again,
not again."
So and also. Well, actually, no, because it does. But they did get it because even Shannon Doherty came back for a brief cameo.
Yeah.
Now here's the other thing. We actually left one out. It's not a View Askew movie, but it is considered to be canon.
Oh, okay.
Scream 3.
Scream 3.
Jay and Silent Bob are in it. Yes.
Wait, what?
They're on the movie lot, and Courtney Cox's character comes walking by, and there's a line of people taking a tour, and Jay and Silent Bob are there, and Jay goes, "Look, Silent Bob, it's Connie Chung, and she turns around and gives him the finger.
Oh,
and
I
walks
remember
off.
that now.
Yeah,
I remember
and
that
so,
now.
Yeah, and so and it's one of those things that it's like, oh, so the Scream universe and the View Askewniverse are together.
Yeah. Yeah, that I had completely.
Yeah.
You know, I love Scream. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that one at some point.
Yes, we are going to do a Scream retrospective.
Scream 2, yeah. Scream 3, I don't think I've watched it but once.
I saw it. I've seen it twice total. But Scream 4 is actually really good. Did you see that one?
I forgot they even made it.
It's actually
I don't
really
know that
good.
I watched it.
It's really good, actually. It's a really good reboot.
Okay.
I mean,
we'll get into the
anyway,
Scream
that's
stuff.
a whole different
back to Clerks.
Anyway, so
universe.
there's more of that. Now, there's one more thing before we get into. Of course, when you get to Clerks 2, and you know, there are all kinds of callbacks to the first movie as well. You know, whenever he's painting Becky's toenails, that goes back to whenever he's painting his girlfriend.
What was her name? Somebody text us.
I know this is a.
And
I almost called her by her real name, which is Marilyn. But yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah,
callbacks.
And it's like minor stuff that unless you really watched the first one, you wouldn't catch.
Kevin Smith also in the mid '90s did a couple of Clerks comic books.
Yeah,
and they were really, really good.
Okay.
And they're kind of like here and there, but one of them has a callback to Clerks, the actual, and it's all has to do with Caitlin Bree. You know, she's been catatonic ever since.
Oh yeah.
And it's Christmas time.
The bathroom incident.
Right. And it's Christmas time, and he wants to go see her. And I'm not going to spoil it for her. They were put out on Oni Press, and you can get it collected, like it's both issues together. And there's several stories.
They put it into a graphic novel.
Right. Well, it's not a graphic novel. And yes, I'm going to say that it is a collection. It's not a graphic novel. A graphic novel is written as one story.
Okay.
That a collection is whenever they collect several things and put it into one.
Sure.
Yes, I'm not nerdy, but in that he goes and sees her, and hilarity ensues. Okay. Well, now the other thing, one of the backup stories that's in there is the actual funeral home scene. They couldn't. Really? Kevin Smith had written the scene for the funeral home in Clerks.
Oh, inside
what happened, because it's one of those things they go in and then it says like 14 minutes later or whatever, they shows them running out.
So they either didn't shoot it or it got cut.
Well, they didn't shoot it because they couldn't get into a funeral home. They didn't have access to. So it was
okay. I'll leave my comments to myself.
But it was one of those things where he was like, we were making this on a very, very, very low budget, and I didn't have access to a funeral home, so we just kind of cut around it and then talked about stuff like the scene itself. And also I could reading it, I'm like, okay, he went back and did a little tweaking on it from the original, because like Alyssa Jones shows up in it, and we didn't know anything about her until later.
He did a little bit of retcon,
right, just a little bit, but they animated it, and it's actually on that Clerks. Like when they put out the Clerks X, it was the 10th anniversary DVD, and it's actually on this Blu-ray too in the special features.
Oh.
They animated it, and they got everybody to come back and do the voices,
nice,
including Joey Lauren Adams.
Really?
She does the yes, and it's hilarious, just hilarious.
Okay, I know I just brought those back to you. I'm probably going to have to borrow them again.
I'll tell you, there's a great documentary on here also that's called what's it called?
Something. It's called something. It's on the back.
Yeah, anyways, I'll find it. There's a documentary on there about the making of Clerks, and it's like an hour and a half long. And it starts off at the Genesis and goes all the way through, and it's really comprehensive. Great, because there is video from like Sundance and different places like that.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Interviews with everybody that helped them along the way, and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Really in depth. Okay, I said all of that, and now we're getting into Clerks 2.
Clerks 2.
Okay,
which was depressing for me.
It was, but going back to what I had said earlier, both of these movies hit me at a time and place in my life of, the first one being that 20s malaise of, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, and, just kind of grinding out dead-end jobs to pay the bills, or and
check to check.
Yeah, and being, hey, I want to do something one day. Clerks 2 hit me at a time in my life.
Let's admit, we both wanted to be rock stars.
Well, yeah, it was or wanted to be something anyway. Clerks 2 hit in these guys are now in their 30s. They haven't done anything with their life.
Yeah. And
they feel like they don't have time to do anything in their life. And that hit me at the time. The circumstances. They're here because of the circumstances.
Well, not only that, but Dante has been shown a light at the end of the tunnel that isn't what he wanted.
Yeah, it's definitely a train, not a light at the end.
Yeah, but he's like, oh, here's something that maybe I can better.
Right.
It's not what I want to do, but maybe I can do something
Right.
to better myself a little bit. And this chick's really into. Okay, I'm going to say this.
Okay,
Dante.
Right.
For those of you who've seen this movie, how the heck did this guy have so many women fighting over him at all times?
And that's something that Randall says. Like later in the movie, he says, "How do you always have two hot women fighting over you?"
I don't understand it.
I know.
I don't understand it.
Some people are just like that, though. I mean,
because
hey,
he's
I'm
wishy-washy.
sorry, look,
he can't make a
okay.
decision about anything. He's not. It just.
You do know who Emma is, right?
Yeah.
In the movie.
Yeah.
You know who she is in real life.
I didn't until you asked me that.
It's Kevin Smith's wife.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I knew her from other movies or TV shows.
No, she had been in. She was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. She was a member of the four women. Whatever. But no, that's Jennifer Schwalbach, who is Kevin Smith's wife.
Well, see, I didn't realize that they were married to each other.
Yeah, good for and that's they got a kid together. They've been together 20 years.
Good for him.
I know.
He's a real life Dante.
And he flat says he outkicked his coverage to well, he doesn't use that terminology. But that's something that we would use here as sports fans. But he definitely overachieved in life. Let's put it that way.
Okay, you're going to get some Southeast colloquialism.
Yeah. But it's also one of those things where, like, I'm sorry, I don't care who you're with or how long you've been with them. If her. And of course, I'm like, my mind went completely blank as soon as I started trying to.
Oh yeah.
Becky in the movie.
Yeah.
Shit, that is bothering me. Rose. Damn it, what is her name?
You were about to say Rose McGowan.
It's not Rose McGowan.
No.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, Rosario.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson is interested in you. You drop everything. I don't care.
Honey, I love you.
I know.
She's hot.
She is. And she's...
And funny.
And she's hot, funny, and she's also...
And sarcastic.
She is one of those people, I've seen her in interviews and stuff. Like, of course, I've never met her, but just seeing her in interviews and stuff where it's like not her playing a character and everything.
Yeah.
She's still one of those people that is as beautiful as she is. She seems very approachable.
Very down to earth.
Very like, I might actually have a shot.
I mean, really funny, really sarcastic, really quick on the wit, and super talented. Super talented.
Very, very talented actress.
Because the range of acting jobs that she's done, it's like, wow.
Did you watch all the Netflix?
Oh, yeah.
And she plays the night nurse.
Oh, yeah.
In that. And that's great. I loved her in that.
No, I've watched every single one of those Marvel. And let me just say right now, Disney, I am hacked off at you for discontinuing all the Netflix stuff.
But they're coming back when Disney Plus comes out. Some of them are. They're going to have some new stuff.
Prove it. I wasn't really interested. That's another show.
That's a whole other
hold on. Write that one down. Write that one down. We need to talk about the Netflix Marvel stuff.
Yeah, we can do that. So
I'm so angry.
So it's interesting. You have Dante who has this seeming solution to his life. Basically,
he's going to move to Florida and manage a car wash.
Right, and have Emma make all of his decisions and and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you have Randall, who
I don't think
Randall has no plan outside of me and Dante are going to be friends and we're just going to hang out for our entire lives.
Well, not only that, but he becomes a bigger jerk. The older he gets, the more.
Now he's a bitter jerk. There's a difference.
Yeah.
It's like he was just a jerk in the first movie. He's a bitter jerk.
Well, he's a bigger, bitter
right.
jerk.
So, and then you have Elias, who I love. I love Elias.
That poor kid.
I know, but it reminded me a lot of when I was working at CD Warehouse, and there was a couple of kids that worked there who were fresh out of high school that that just, believe me, they got an education hanging around with me and a few other people.
You have corrupted more than your share of young impressionables.
Yeah, I mean, just a serious education.
I've gotten an education hanging around with you, and I'm
and you're older than me.
I've been around, yeah.
So maybe one day we'll do Alan's stories.
We don't need to broadcast your blackmail material.
Yeah, I know.
Let's not do that.
Hey, I would much rather broadcast my blackmail material than have someone else try to actually blackmail me with it. So
okay, yeah, truth to that, yeah.
But
and actually the whole movie, Randall is furious with Dante,
right, because he's leaving him.
Dante's he didn't even talk to Randall about it. He's just like, I'm out of here.
Right.
Enjoy your life.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's just there's a reoccurring theme in the first one and this one. It's a callback about we got the explicit title, about the shoulda got off the pot, basically is what it comes down to. And in the first movie, Dante explains that his mom told him that when he was a kid and was, that he was potty training, that he went to go to the bathroom one day and the lid was down, and rather than lift the lid, he just went in his pants. And because he doesn't do well with change, he doesn't do well with making decisions,
exactly,
nothing whatsoever. And so then there's the callback to that of it's like when they're fighting when they're in jail. We're going to get to that in just a second. Okay. About why they're in jail. So they
which is horrific.
I know.
Go ahead.
It's funny all at the same time. But yeah, it's one of those things that they come back to it. In the end, they decide to reopen the Quick Stop together and run it. And
there's a weird twist on it because they evidently borrow some of the startup cash from Jay and Silent Bob.
And with the caveat that they get to hang out outside as long as they want to.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, fine. And it's kind of a nice little, at the end of it, like, it starts off in black and white and then comes into color.
Well, it did that at the first part of
the movie. At the very first of the movie, and then at the end of it, it kind of does this pullback of them at the store, and Walt Flanagan comes in again and buys and asks for a pack of cigarettes. He turns around and looks dead in the camera, and then walks out. So it's like, okay, we get that throwback also,
and it goes back to black and white.
Well, but it's also one of those things when they're sitting there. And Dante comes up and he's like, hey, you feeling better? He's like, yeah, I'm okay with that. He's like, you know what? You're not even supposed to be here today. Yeah. Which is a reoccurring thing we didn't talk about. That's like one of the big things from the first one.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Exactly, because it's one of those things that starts off with him getting a phone call from his boss asking him to come in and open the store, and he's like, no, it's my day off.
Just to open it. I'll be there in a couple hours.
And then find out he went to Connecticut.
Yeah.
And it's like, or Vermont. Or it was Vermont he went to.
Why?
I know. Whatever.
He must have run out of maple syrup or something.
I guess. So yeah, there's callbacks to that as well. Overall, they're really good movies. They're nice bookends.
Yeah, they are.
And Kevin Smith was going to make a third one.
Really?
Yes.
I'm glad he didn't.
Well, he didn't because he never said who. He said one of the actors didn't want to come back. I'm pretty sure it was Jeff Anderson because he had to do a lot of convincing to get him to come back to do Clerks 2.
Yeah. And
there's been a couple of other little things here and there. Like they did a sketch. It's actually on the DVD also of the Clerks DVD. They did a sketch for the Tonight Show. It's Dante and Randall sitting in a car like in traffic, and they're talking about the flying car, about would you if aliens came down and told you that they would give the technology to the world for a flying car, but you had to have sex with them, would you do it? And of course Dante's like no, and then finally at the end of it he's like, yeah, I would, and then he's like, oh, you're gay and blah blah, it's because they're always calling Randall's always calling somebody gay in this, and I guess in this day and time that's kind of problematic for a lot of people. But it's one of those things, that's the way friends talk to each other. It
is, but Randall was also about let's push every boundary.
Absolutely.
I mean, the whole scene where, the whole, oh, it's okay, we're taking it back.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're not even going to get into that. Okay. That's there's a whole thing with a racial slur that's like, whoa.
And it's not just the one. They actually go
through all of them. I know.
They were equal opportunity offenders.
Right,
They offended everyone possible, including Wanda Sykes, which, in my opinion, she probably deserved a little bit.
She was really funny in that scene.
She was really funny.
She was
in that
really
scene,
good in that. There's a point in that movie, in that scene with her when she's standing in line, where she breaks character and laughs.
Oh yeah, I know.
And it's like it's like every time I've seen that movie, I'm like, oh yeah, she wasn't supposed to do that. That was her breaking character. Okay, we got to talk about the donkey in the room. So Clerks 2 has a donkey show. If you don't know what that is, go to the internet.
No, don't go to the internet. You don't want to end up on a watch list.
I was going to say, first off, make sure your VPN is up to date, and then go to the internet.
I can't believe you're encouraging people to do this.
But yeah, so there's a donkey show.
So because Dante's leaving, Randall decides to
give him a send off.
Give him a send off in the only way that Randall could.
Absolutely.
He decides to find a donkey show, which is basically bestiality.
When this was aired, or when this film was shown at, I don't know if it was Sundance or one of the other ones. What was the guy's name? He's a film critic. He's dead now. And it wasn't one of the Siskel and Ebert. It was a writer for like Chicago.
Was it the guy with the mustache?
Glasses?
The glasses and the big
Not
mustache?
Gene Shalit.
Okay,
the other one. This guy kind of looked like George Lucas a little bit.
I think I know who you're talking about.
He legit got up and walked out, and literally on the way out he stood up. He said, "Okay, time to go. Who's with me?" and left.
Yeah.
And like wrote up like a pretty rough review of what he saw, later. And then he died a few years after that. I can't remember his name.
Not related.
No, it's just but he did pass in the meantime.
It was
that's
a rough scene though.
It is.
It's a rough scene.
And again,
not for the weak of heart.
Becky's response to that is great, where she's like, oh my God, she's like, I'm equal parts repulsed and nauseated, and I can't stop watching.
It's a train wreck on a whole different level.
Absolutely.
And then as Dante's dragging her out of the place, she's asking about, did you see the size on that donkey?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's something else. Okay. That being said, and I told you this. So
I'm going to do this gently.
Thing.
The donkey is not.
It's Kinky Kelly and the Sexy Stud.
And Kinky Kelly is the donkey, and the donkey is receiving.
Yes. And we also come to find out that Kelly can be a boy's name also.
Okay, are you starting to get how wrong this 5 to 10 minute scene is?
It really is. And it's not for everyone, but it's funny.
So here's how they end up in jail. Dante pulls up to Movies because he's been trying to chase down Becky.
Yeah.
Pulls up and sees the entire inside of Movies completely smoked up.
Mm-hmm. He says, "Oh no, not again!"
Thinking that Randall is burning the place down
again, second time, yeah.
And runs in to find it, and he calls 911 on the way in before he realizes what's going on.
Right,
and realizes it's a smoke machine for the donkey show, and forgets that he has called 911 on a very illegal,
very illegal
because they're doing the donkey show in the Movies, which I'm pretty sure is
violates every health code ever. Yeah, no.
And of course, the police show up, and the fire trucks show up, and the ambulances show up,
and on top of it all, Randall has written that he's taken back a certain racial slur on the back of his shirt, and
he has racial slur. It's okay. We're taking it back.
Or it says no, for life is what it says
on
it.
And
then
the
guy, like one of the
police chief who shows up is actually a
African American.
Yes,
and gets upset. He's like, "No, it's okay. I'm taking it back." And
he gets taken back directly to jail.
Yes,
do not pass go.
So here's I teased this with Dave earlier when we were sitting at dinner. So I was watching this movie. Okay, like I said, I had it on my iPad, and I had started watching it Sunday evening, and I turned it off because I was getting tired, So
happens when you get old.
I know. So yesterday afternoon, after I got off work, I'm home taking a shower and everything, I was like, I'm going to get something to eat. So I went to a certain chain fast food place and sat down and was eating. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm almost giddy. Getting ready to say this sentence. So I'm watching Clerks 2 while I'm sitting at Chick-fil-A and realize, oh yeah, there's a donkey show in the middle of this movie.
Oh no! And you probably had your speakers all the way up too, didn't you?
No, I had my headphones
Okay,
on, but it was still one of those like, maybe I should wait to watch the rest of this later.
I'm not going to be able to eat waffle fries for a little while. I love you, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I do too, but it's bad enough. But then also, with their affiliations with the church and everything, it's kind of maybe this is not the movie to be watching here. So.
Yeah.
But I love both of these movies. As sick and twisted as that may sound to some people, because it's one of those things that with Kevin Smith's movies, he will do these outrageous things. He'll have someone have sex with a dead guy in
Clerks.
In a bathroom. He'll have
with the lights off.
Yeah, he'll make
donkey show.
He'll have a donkey show. He'll have a running gag about.
No, don't.
He'll have a running gag in one movie about having sex in a very uncomfortable place, and he'll do all this stuff. But when you strip all that stuff away and you look at you take all the language and and all the dick and fart jokes and all that kind of stuff, when you come down to it, there's a lot of heart in his movies
and a lot of just real life.
Right, exactly.
Mundane
real life. But it's also because that's the whole thing with both of these characters is you realize they love each other. They are best friends.
Yeah. I
mean, just Randall doesn't want Dante to go because he doesn't know how to live life without him. That's he is. They've been so tied together for their entire lives.
Elementary school, wasn't it?
Yeah. They talk about that, of just like throwing it all away, that kind of stuff. And you get that with, you get that in most of his movies. There's just this heart that's
except
there.
Dogma. I'm sorry, I'm going to Dogma every chance I get. I could not stand that movie. I didn't like it at first. Like I was like, it's all right. Dogma to me.
But then I went back and rewatched it. And I'm like, no, I get this. But it's still one of those. I don't think it's one of his better films.
For me, Dogma was, Kevin Smith's making a new movie. All the high end A-list.
Well, it was all of his friends though.
Wanted to be in it. I got to be in it. It's like suddenly Chris Rock.
Well, yeah,
it's gotta be a Kevin Smith movie.
All right, so you get Chris Rock and then you have Salma Hayek are both in it. Okay, but if you look at everybody else that's in that movie, like with Ben Affleck, but Ben Affleck had been in 2 of his movies prior. He was in Mallrats and Chasing Amy. I mean, that was a whole, and even because Matt Damon, of course, they were best friends, kind of stuff. But Matt Damon was in Chasing Amy.
Jay and Silent Bob.
but Matt Damon was in Chasing Amy. He had a scene in it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Kevin Smith was one of the producers on Good Will Hunting.
Which is a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it's okay. But it's one of those things that, because they were the friend, and it's even like, in Clerks 2, Ben Affleck, he's got a cameo.
Up.
He's got one scene he shows up in, So it's one of those things where you get that. But, Chris Rock, and Salma Hayek are both. And Alan... Die Hard.
Bruce Willis.
Alan Rickman.
Oh,
Alan Rickman is in it. And also, what's her name?
Alan Rickman can be in anything, and I'm okay with it.
And also, what's her name? Linda Fiorentino is in it, So, I mean, it's got some higher, but again, it was one that was made with a higher budget, and they could get some people.
For me, it seemed like it was Clerks 2, while I enjoyed the movie, donkey scene aside, I liked it. It made me a little sad because it kind of felt like he was trying to go a little bigger budget, and I missed the grittiness of the first one.
But it was also it was supposed to be a goodbye to these characters.
Well, yeah,
I get it, but
I still kind of miss the grittiness of the first one.
I get it. I get that as well. But yeah, I highly recommend both of these. Like I said, they're not for everybody. There is some questionable material in both of them.
Oh yeah.
A lot of language, a lot of sexual innuendo and this and that and everything. But they are good movies. They're solid movies. And yeah, go check them out, man. I mean, it's and if you have any questions, I can steer you in directions about what to watch after Clerks, like in between the two. Because, like I said, there is the View Askewniverse inside. And also remember, there is a Jay and Silent Bob reboot that's coming out this year.
Soon.
I think it's in September, if I'm not mistaken, August or September.
I don't know.
Or something
I haven't
like
seen
that.
any info on it.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things that, if you don't really follow him, you haven't heard much about it. But they're I've seen pictures from the set, and they're bringing back everybody.
I take that back. I have seen a little bit about it because Kevin Smith worked hard with Jason Mewes to try to get him cleaned up. And
he's been clean for a while.
Yeah,
but that was a whole thing especially when they were making Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Mewes was just off the rails, and I mean, they had a real tough time. Like, he had to fight with the studio to get Mewes to actually be in the movie because he was such an insurance risk.
I mean, I think they had him taking drug tests every day.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. So, but he's gotten his life together. He got married. He's got a kid. All that stuff. And so,
good on you, Jason.
Yeah, so it's good. It's always good to hear
redemption story.
Exactly. Hey, some of us have them. So anyway, that's our review of Clerks. If you would like to tell us how bad Clerks sucks,
or how bad we suck,
or whatever it is, you can write us at projectxpod@gmail.com.
Yep.
We also have a Facebook page,
which is, if you go to Facebook and you do a search for Project X Podcast,
yes,
you should be able to find us. We'll get that thing up and running at some point.
Yes, pretty soon. Actually, by the time this comes out, it'll probably be up and running. What
we've
else
got,
we got?
We've got projectxpod.com.
Yes.
That is in the works.
Yes,
coming.
It is. It's being built, and
the Twitter's up and running.
The Twitter is up and running. That's at projectxpod.
So you can get a hold of us there immediately, like right now.
And then also you have.
I have one also. It is Big Dave X. Hold on. I haven't
Big
looked
Dave
at
X Pod or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right, but I haven't looked at it in a couple of days. So
I know. At our age, you forget stuff like that really easily. So
this is embarrassing. I should know my own email address. No, where is it? I'm such. It is bigdavexpod@gmail.com.
There you go.
It's all one word.
There you go.
bigdavexpod@gmail.com.
All right. So thank you once again
I'm
for
a terrible
listening.
person.
Thank you once again for listening, and we will see you next time.
Have a good one.